people hate it when you call them on that too. I have to have that awareness for myself and call myself out around others if I see them doing it,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like that is so deep embedded. But when you hold the reflection up and someone realizes the language they've been using with themselves in their own head, like period, it's devastating. Like you're often so mean to yourself in your head, don't believe in yourself, just waiting until failure. Like this is like, well, I don't know what happened with the collective consciousness, but the average person really doesn't believe in himself that much.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, to your point, decisiveness. You got to get the fuck up off your ass. You like it or don't like it. You don't like it, get up. Like
Yeah.
you got to change it. You got to change it. You're thirsty, drink water. Good to
Oh
see you,
man.
bro.
Good to see you too. Sorry
How's
I had to
everything?
cancel last week.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Fuck. No, we're so disappointed. No,
I know.
no, it's all good, man. It's all
It was
good.
like hilarious how the universe works in that way where I like was just at a pet shop, saw a cat named Ellevan, and it was the
And
exact same cat that you have. Like, what are the fucking chances?
like, are you serious? I
I was
know.
like,
There's
that's God booking a podcast for me.
Oh, by the way, look in
Yeah.
this direction.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Totally feel you.
Message your friend Evan.
It's like when I went to a strip club and I saw the stripper Johnny Rogers, and I was like, what?
Shut the
Out of the
fuck
sky, and I have a boner.
up. Ah, you sick fuck. No, I'm just kidding.
Sick fuck indeed. Ugh.
Oh
I'm a
man.
sick fuck. I like a quick fuck. I'm a sick fuck. I like a quick fuck.
Here
I
you
get my
go.
dick sucked. That's Kanye West and Love.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, did you just come up with a hook just like that? You know what's funny is I saw the equivalent to what you do in comedian interpretation, which was really interesting. It was Anthony Jeselnik and Harlan Williams. They were doing a podcast together. And Harlan says to Anthony, he goes, you're like the GOAT at writing jokes. I bet I could give you 3 words right now and you'd write a joke. And he goes,
Ah,
okay, let's do it. And so he gave him like 3 words, and literally he just talked out a perfect version of like how he does comedy, like set up punch. But it's funny because you could see the wheels turning in his head, and you can see the moment where he like thinks of the punchline, and he just starts
yes.
smiling, and then just delivers it. And you're like, oh, this motherfucker.
It is like you're sitting on a pile of hot cock when you
Yeah.
fucking when you're like, I got it. Like, and often it comes through in one image.
Hmm.
Like when those things combined, just like I have a higher being, you have a higher being, but when we're together in the same room, there's like another entity formed based on that. And same with words and concepts, they're just frequencies and like tokens of energy. So it comes like the universe writes it. You just gotta like be open. It's trippy.
Yeah, like I just bought Rick Rubin's book.
The
And
creative act.
dude, yeah, it's so
I've been
I'm like
listening to it.
3 pages in and it's already so unbelievably good.
He
Just
draws it together so it's like a divine act, and you should be giving yourself all the time you need, and it's beautiful.
yeah, and just thinking about creativity differently also, right? Like a lot of people will say to me that they don't feel creative, and I'm like that's not that's like saying you don't feel like breathing. Like
Yeah, it's
it's
impossible.
everything you do is a creative act. Like from the way that you make your sandwiches to the path home that you decide to take, that's you being creative. You're just not recognizing it as a creative act. That's all.
Exact. It's all, and lots of it's baked into what we would consider the synthetic imagination, like they're reorganizing it, like you said, like a sandwich or something.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's like it's all the special way that you do it. And that's what adds to your essence
Yeah.
of life, your character that you build for yourself.
Now I have a topic in mind that I want to talk to you about, but I also don't want to venture down that way if you want to continue off from where we were on the secondary school album. Because we were
Oh yeah.
doing like a listening to the album, but time constraints, we could only get to part of the album. But there's another concept. Do you want to hear what the concept is first and decide?
Yes.
Okay, so I really want to talk to you specifically because I saw you posting about like, you know, working with a client, right? And like
Ah.
it not being what you had hoped it for, like what you had hoped it to be, and kind of like the whole idea of just letting that be what it is, right?
Hmm.
What are your thoughts on, with the advent of the internet and especially monetization on creative acts, do you have like a creative line where you're saying, I would rather express myself creatively, maybe making like you did 365 or however many songs you made in a year, knowing that there is no direct income from that effort, but it's something that fuels your soul and you can drive other benefits from it. Uh, or in that situation, do you take a job that is using your creativity? It's going to pay you, but it might feel like it's gonna suck up your time or be something that's unpleasant to do. Because there
Right.
is that polar of like you need money to live, but you also don't want to wholly like sacrifice your art and creativity just for the money because that's not why you did creative things in the first place.
Hmm.
Like I find that a
It's,
very hard
it's a
scale to
great,
balance.
that's a great, it's a great conversation. And I'd say it's, you got to use your creativity to understand, like, it depends, like, where you are. Have you earned your differentiator yet? Like, if you're an artist, this is a business, and in order for you to be referenceable or considered value of, uh, this is such a fucked up conversation because there's this worth value kind of element at play here. But if you look at being an artist like a business person, if you want to sustain it, you need a differentiator. Like, you need a reason why people are gonna like look at you.
Mm-hmm.
And I find at that place, I rocked with some of the great, like some of the people I played with got Grammys now. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I did the live scene thing, and it doesn't, that's not what makes you like notable or famous or big. It's like they, like, I wish it was like, and for artists watching this that are starting out hitting those open mics and stuff, it's like you have to develop your craft anyway, so don't bail on that journey anyway. But it's less about, oh my God, what am I doing with my life and my income? I think you'll always make it work
Mm-hmm.
somehow. And more just being, and I don't tell people to be realistic often or ever, but you got to be realistic with where you are at in the market, what type of notability you have, and what type of income that can garner you. I would just take gigs to do gigs for like so long, for like 5 or 6 years before I started to charge for anything. And then it was low, like a couple $100 or something, or $100. Sometimes you'd be like, if you get, like being a comedian, like being a musician, you're playing for nachos and beer, and then maybe just, the scraps off the table. But then I started to build my own shows. So I was working for profit instead of like just getting paid from like a bar owner. And
Mm-hmm.
then I removed myself from that because all the stress that came along with managing a band, and I started busking. So I had a market price for the value I was exchanging as an artist, as a performing artist for my freestyle show. I'd go out in the street, I'd go outside the Blue Jay Stadium, and if I gave it my all in a day, I'd make around 400 or 500 bucks busking, slanging rhymes. Sometimes there were days with three, some days there was five, but consistently enough over the time. And then I would get booked for more gigs. So when I came into selling my services, it was like, no, 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 you can't talk me down. It's like the streets gave me five, dog. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's no denying that. There's no more
Yeah,
pure way. Like, I didn't
yeah,
convince
yeah,
anyone. Like, I woke up
yeah.
that day and nobody knew they were going to the Ellevan show. Like, and they rewarded me for that. So when I had that, it was like, I'm tethered to this value concept now. So it's only up from there because you're more notable. And then by the time that world record thing came into my lap, I was teeter tottering with being full time in terms of releasing my own music. It was like mainly like with other notable or famous like people, like, so we could do mechanical sales. But yeah, streaming, unless you're Drake, really, like, it's like you can't be unreasonable about what direction your life is going to take in terms of
Hmm.
like jumping off the cliff of being creative and full
Yeah.
time and like deciding whether to leave your job. But like you'll be able to look at it like a business by the time it's valuable. So if you're wondering, it's not cooked yet.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
can I sell this lasagna if I just put some dried noodles and cheese
Sure.
still in its
Sure.
package and
Yeah.
a can of tomatoes in a bag and sell it to someone for the price I'd sell a slice of lasagna for?
Yeah.
No.
See,
It's a
I'm
business too.
I'm thinking of it in a different term. I get what you're saying, but I'm thinking more in terms of, do you think that monetizing a passion, like let's say you monetize your music and you're fine with that, and it doesn't impact your ability to be creative in your music because people want whatever your perspective is. But let's say you start painting for fun and you are very abstract and you paint whatever you want to paint and you derive a lot of personal joy and comfort from doing that. And then suddenly
Mm,
someone says, "Oh, you paint. I would like you to paint me a vase." And you go, "That's not how it works. I don't want to
right.
paint a
Can you
vase."
turn the kitchen light off, When? Sorry.
Do like does and let's say you do that and you paint the vase and you work hard on it and the whole process kind of sucks and you don't really like it, but you make rent off of just painting this vase. Does that
Yeah.
take away then from your abstract paintings? Does that does that take away from the joy that you get doing this thing that was just simply for the expression?
Just because you,
Video games is
yeah,
another perfect example, right? Like people would
yeah,
play video games just for fun all the time, and now people are trying to stream and monetize their fun. So now
yeah,
not it's not even just passion that's being monetized, it's things that are just fun, that were just once just fun things to do, people are
yeah.
turning into streams of income. And I'm like, is that always a like that? It's strange to me that that always seems like the route. Like
Mm.
anything we do in life now, well, not everyone, but a lot of people are like, how can I make money doing this?
Yeah. Okay. I hear what you're saying. There is a big conversation, especially for the heart of an artist. To speak from the perspective I think you are coming from is like Winnie said with the podcast, we were watching this guy on YouTube who we love, and he's a cooking guy, and he sold at the beginning of his podcast episode, or sorry, his cooking show, he sold his pan because it's relevant. It's like a steel pan. It's like, hey, you're watching me because you like cooking. This is my brand. Go ahead. And then like a quarter into it, you're like, cool, man, represent, sell your shit. And then a quarter into it, he's just like cold advertising, like these headphones. And I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
not headphones.
dog, I trusted you. So I
Hmm.
felt like you took too much. And Winnie looked at me and said, like, is that what we're working towards? Like, if our goal is say like 100K audience for disciplined owners, like, is so we can just take brand deals like that? And then
Yeah.
like get paid by blasting our audience with this irrelevant product just because the bag is right. No, 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 no. This is a conflict in your true character, and this is facing towards the wrong direction, and you'll start to lose people's trust. So yeah, that's for sure. You can't even be a sustainable business making moves like that. But
Yeah.
just because you get a awesome lap dance from a hot stripper doesn't mean that you're not going to make love to your wife anymore. So
Sure.
sometimes you take a gig.
Sure. Good point.
Sometimes it's a weird analogy, I understand. But I'm saying I've taken gigs. I will do a corporate gig. In fact, I
Hmm.
got one coming up and it's like suits, and even booking that deal, they're so funny. It's like, yeah, we're gonna be $1 billion company. And then she's like, yeah, so can we do anything about your rate? We have a tight budget.
You're
Fuck
like,
out of here, son.
you
No.
can't tell me you're $1 billion company and then
And
be
then
like,
ask for a discount.
uh,
Yeah, that's the things too. Artists get so beat on for their worth in this
hmm.
society because we're not taught to value it. How many times have you heard someone say to their mechanic, will you work for exposure?
Yeah, no,
Fuck
no. I'll
you,
tell all my
bro.
friends that you're the best mechanic. No.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I hopefully might get you more
Well,
mechanic work down the line.
there's even microcosms of that within a workplace, right? Like I've worked at different places where they're like, "Hey, do you mind?" And I've seen someone do a even a cartoon sketch of this and that I thought was like perfect where they're like this boss comes in and goes, "Hey, I'm gonna need you to train the new person. Can you do me this as a favor?" And they go, "Okay, how do you want me to invoice that?" And they go, "Oh, well, I was hoping that you would just do it as a favor." And they go, "Oh, okay, cool." The girl pulls like her electricity bill out of her backpack or purse or whatever and goes, "Here you go. I was hoping as a favor you'd pay my electricity bill because like
Yes.
I don't work on favors. Like I work for money
Yes.
so that I can pay my bills so that everything
Yeah.
runs accordingly, right? Like
That's what I say. I say it's great that when you're an artist and you apply for an apartment, they don't charge you rent. That's I make that
yeah,
joke with them. I'm like, it's
yeah.
because I have no bills. This is like the car and the gas and everything to get here was free
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
told them
It's
I'm
all
11.
God's plan, actually.
Thank you. Oh, hold on. No, we're in this world, so
Yeah.
fuck you, pay me. In fact, we should make that the fucking title. Oh no, you can't square in the titles, can
Yeah,
you? Can you
yeah,
go
yeah.
pay me 11?
Pay me.
But to answer your question as a whole, I'm a proud capitalist, bro. Like,
Yeah.
if I provide an awesome service that you can't get from anywhere else,
Hmm.
and I'm also at this point, I'm telling clients how to use the assets I provide them. So I'm also being a consultant. Like, this is nonsense. Like, if you're
Yeah.
operating at a level and people aren't okay with the exchange of compensation or not jumping at the
Yeah.
opportunity to pay your deposit, like the world to me is broken in that way. So I'm gonna keep saying fuck you, pay me, and respect the artist until someone
Exactly.
starts.
And I think that's almost the point too, is like you are making the decision to get paid. Like if you are starting in anything that brings you passion or joy, the last thing you should be looking for is how do I get paid at this?
Oh
The
yeah, no, you're looking at 12 years later,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
over
yeah.
a decade
Like
later,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and still pretty kind. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you got to
Yeah.
be humble for sure. And you're right. Most things that turn into businesses start as hobbies. So, but there is this weird thing that artists have been brainwashed like, oh, you're lucky you get to do with you what you love. It's like, no, people are lucky you get to do what you love because you're good at it. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
this is good. Like, you lighten people's hearts when you do stand up, Johnny. You
Oh,
give them
thanks, man.
you give them a treat. You give them a little release from suffering in that time, you know?
And you know what? Have you seen Dave Chappelle's new special?
Oh, I must have.
It just came out
Like yesterday?
like 2 days ago maybe.
Oh my God, Winnie,
Yeah.
we're watching a new Dave Chappelle special tonight.
It's so good. It's so good. It's on Netflix.
Oh,
Um, I won't spoil it, but there's a really good observation that he makes in life about how sometimes he feels like he is the star of the movie and everything
mm,
around him is happening for him in those moments. And then he goes, but other times I just feel like a regular guy. Like I'm
yep.
sitting in the club and I look over and there's a dude on his weekend and he's getting bottle service and there's all these chicks around him and he looks over and he just sees me and that guy's gonna go tell his coworkers tomorrow, like, yeah, I was at the club, I got bottle service, and Dave Chappelle was just staring at me. And so
Ah,
he's just a character in that guy's movie moment, right?
yeah.
And it's like, yeah, when you're an artist and you get on a stage and you're performing, you feel like you're the lead in a movie. Like, and all these people are just there for you, but it's quite the opposite. They're there like getting the entertainment, but I feel like as an artist, like correct me if I'm wrong, you almost need that ego of saying I'm the star of the movie to have the confidence to do the thing in front of the people.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you just be shitting yourself. If you look
Oh,
at actually what's happening, oh, I'm gonna tell jokes to people I've never met before. I will never know their names. They're just staring at me. They've called my name. The spotlight's on. Go. You got 6 minutes. You
you're
know?
already being kind by calling jokes a thing. Break down
Yeah,
jokes.
yeah. What's a
I'm
joke?
gonna
How do you
go in
write a
front of
joke?
these people and say words, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
transmit ideas. And
Yeah.
I hope those ideas make this vastly different group
Oh.
of people all feel the same,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
which is
At
lighter
once.
at one time, which
Yeah,
is
at
lighter.
once. Yeah.
It's insane. That's why I liked when I shifted to music because I felt okay if someone took a moment of just, feeling. Because
Mhm.
I remember stand up, it was like, if you're not laughing, cracking up out of your seat,
I'm
my,
failing at this.
my self worth
Yeah.
is plummeting. Great question, though, bro. Yeah, fucking Rick Rubin, shout out, man. He will get your wheels turning on being an artist. Love that.
I love his Instagram page even too. He only ever has
Simple.
one post at one time. It goes up and then it comes down. And if you didn't see it, you missed it.
I love
It
that.
is such a great, like, great way to think about Instagram too. I love how humble that guy is in the sense that like people ask him, you know, do you know how to play music? And he goes, no. And they
Yeah.
go, do you know how to operate a soundboard? He goes, nope, no idea. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. He goes, I have it, I've acquired a taste level through years of working with people, and I make decisive actions. Like I say, no, do this. Like he's like an ultimate like director in that sense when it comes to
Yeah.
like music. Don't do
The
that, do
producer.
this. The
The
producer.
producer. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jimmy Iovine and Rick Rubin are the producers of our time. Quincy Jones as well. They are the producers, and Dr. Dre, of course. But like, yeah, that direct, concisive. I mean, that all folds in with like law of attraction, think and grow rich, like decisiveness, right? You have to be decisive. And that's what's so funny about being an artist. You're like, oh, I'm sure I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. And you express enough that way where you're like, okay, now I know what it's like to be that. Now I'm going to move over here. And
Yeah,
then I'm going to be
yeah.
this, and I'm really sure I'm this for a period of time. And you're just like, and then you realize
Yeah.
at the end of it, you're all of it. You should be able to sing. You should be able to rap real fast. You should be able to write lyrics. You should be able to write melodies. You should be able to mix. You should be all of these things
Hmm.
uh, that it almost doesn't even matter if you use for the rest of your life. It was a journey just accumulating the awareness of like what affects a song.
Yeah, yeah, especially for any like singer, rapper, artist in that sense. I like the word decisiveness. I know this podcast we always pick a word, but I like
Mm.
decisiveness going on that because I find I have had a number of things that I believed I was addicted to. And I found with stand up, um I would often write jokes about it, right? Like I would write jokes about like, oh, I'm so addicted to weed that blah 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 blah. I'm so addicted to cigarettes that I blah 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 blah. And then I talked to this therapist about how I quit smoking and how I just decided not to.
Yes.
And she goes, yeah, not everyone can do that. Like a lot of people that have, she's like, I don't think that you have an addictive personality, but I've always identified as someone with an addictive personality. Because when I
But
do
that's
something,
wisdom.
yeah, of course. But when
Like
I do
someone,
something, I do it 1,000%, right? Like if I'm gonna smoke cigarettes, I'm smoking a pack a day. I'm gonna
uh,
blow through them. Like you're gonna be like, this guy's nuts. Like he's chain smoking, right?
blow through them.
Yeah, blow through them. And but I just decided to stop. And she was like, that's awareness that you don't have an addictive personality. You are
Yeah.
actually in control of what you put into your body. And with that new set of knowledge, I was like, okay, well, what else can I just stop? So for 2024, and I heard Patrick Bet David say this, and I
No
was like,
masturbating.
fuck that. I would be bouncing off the fucking walls, bro. Yeah, just like
Johnny, what? Your
just
coffee. Oh, thanks.
just oozing out my ears. But P that's hard to say. Patrick Bet
PP?
David, PPD.
Yeah.
Um he owns the Yankees. Super smart guy.
Oh, nice.
He was talking about how instead of creating a New
The
Year's resolution,
Yankees.
the Yankees
PP owns the Yankees.
so good.
The Yankers.
The Yankers. He calls them the Yankers.
Sorry, continue.
Um,
He decided.
he said like instead of starting a new resolution, look at two things that are basically killing you. Two things that you're doing, two things that you're consuming that are taking years off of your life, and just
Sugar.
try to stop doing those two things for that year. Don't give
Yep.
yourself forever, that year, right? So for 2024, I was like, I'm gonna stop vaping because I picked up vaping to stop smoking, but it
Because you're
made
not a
smoking
teenage girl.
worse. Exactly. And
Yeah, you don't need an excuse to stop vaping. Everyone's waiting on that, bro.
of course, of course. But
Are you a 13-year-old
in my
girl?
head though, in my head it became so part of me. Like I
Yeah,
would
I get
like
it.
check my pockets before I left to see if I had it on me.
Nicotine vape?
Nicotine vape, yeah. So, and it was
Peach smoke clouds following you
no,
everywhere.
bro, velvet tobacco. I was just smoking
Oh,
tobacco.
you're a gentleman.
Yeah,
You're a
yeah,
gentleman about it.
yeah,
It's a old school taste, new technology.
yeah, 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 basically. So I
Old
was doing
style,
that.
new suit.
It might as well have been like a pipe shaped
Yeah,
vape.
you should have just rocked the fucking pipe, bro. Fuck
Yeah,
this
yeah,
vape
yeah.
shit. Funny though.
Too much on the looks. But I was like, no, I need to stop doing that because it's worse, I think, than actually smoking cigarettes because you can smoke at any time and as much as you want. A
Mm,
cigarette, you have to step outside, and when it's done, and you
mm.
go back inside. But a vape, I can smoke it inside, I can smoke it outside, I can smoke it in the bathroom, I can smoke it anywhere I want. And it doesn't hurt at all, and it doesn't
It's like
taste
me
like
and weed.
anything. Weed, like you smoke it and you're like, I'm high, I'm good, I don't need to like light up another one immediately,
Right. Right.
right?
Well,
But if you were smoking even a weed vape, you can kind of just keep puffing on that thing till the cows come home. And I don't think that's good. I think it's good to just have the thing, burn it down, throw it away,
I
right?
I agree. I like the ceremony of rolling a joint.
Yeah.
Every joint is different and unique in itself. It's a piece of art. This one I'm gonna name him Larry.
Yeah. And you're
Smoke.
appreciating it as it's burning.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
smoking on that peanut butter breath by Primo. Fire.
oh, shout out Primo.
Yo,
Um,
the heat, son.
oh,
We'll smoke some
nice.
when we do Discipline Stunners with you.
Yes, I talked to Puff Mom about coming up too. Probably spring, summer. She said
Lit.
she's got a couch that I can crash on. So I was like, hell yeah,
Yeah,
let's
she
go.
loves you. We saw her new place. She's so
Oh
sweet.
yeah,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That she needed to get out of there. It was good for her to be into uh a new living situation that she had never been in before. She had never lived in like an apartment condo type building
City,
nor
yeah.
downtown. But I
Yeah.
think she had enough of
Yeah.
what that meant living,
Yeah.
in the
Shout
downtown
out
core of
Puff Mama,
Toronto.
man. Shout out Puff
Shout
Mama.
out
She's
Puff
a
Mama.
sweetheart.
But I
You
stopped
said
vaping and I stopped all soda.
yeah.
No carbonated anything, not
Oh, not even
even
sparkling
not
water?
even sparkling water. Nothing
No
carbonated,
Pellegrine?
nothing. Because if I do one, then it opens up other
What
things.
about kombucha?
I'm not gonna do anything. Maybe kombucha. Kombucha's passable. I could do kombucha.
Kombucha is good for the belly,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. See, that's a thing where it's like that's a healthy actual, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's kind of
All I do is health
indisputable.
products. I do
Yeah.
kombucha, water, weed,
You should write a
vitamins.
fucking nutrition, health and wellness book.
I
Uh,
think I might do a cookbook one day, and it's all
yeah.
mindful food.
Yeah.
I'm eating meat again
That would
too. It
be a
doesn't
great series for you to do too. Mindful food, mindful, like, you know how Tim
like
Ferriss did like the 4 hour work week, but then he also did the 4 hour chef, the 4 hour body. Like he made that
oh,
like a trending thing
I
within
love
his
that.
kind of world. I think mindful everything for you would
I
be,
got 11-minute mindful dishes.
yeah, there you go.
You said something though I wanted to just date back to real
Yeah,
quick. You
yeah.
said you're talking to your therapist and you had self-awareness that you were had an addictive personality. You know what I've never heard an addict say while they were being addictive tendencies? I'm an addict.
True.
The fact that you're able to say
Yeah, this
like,
is a
you know what I mean?
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in
yeah, I
fact, you're like,
know.
hey, I have a cycle going on here that I need to change the pattern of.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
not at
yeah.
risk of being an addict to someone that's like, no,
Yeah.
no, everything's fine. I'm just gonna keep doing this, and I'm gonna get a
Yeah,
different
yeah,
result,
yeah.
and I'm gonna be fine. And you're like, no,
It's so
you're
hard to
addicted.
talk to someone too that has that because you're like, just don't. And they go, what do you mean? And I'm like, just don't. How
Yeah,
did you stop? I just stopped. Like, you know what
I
I mean?
just
Like, I
before I
don't
was
get how
doing
you
it,
couldn't do that. Like,
now I'm not doing it.
I just
Dude,
don't
that's
do it. I
no,
I
it's true.
don't use language too. Language is so important for me. Like saying every time I said I'm trying to quit smoking, I
Mm,
never quit because
yeah,
I was trying, and which gave me an out. Well, I tried. It's like, no, you did or you didn't, and that's where things have to be black and white when it comes to addictions.
mad wisdom, bro. Yes, exactly. That and people hate it when you call them on that too. I have to have that awareness for myself and call myself out around others if I see them doing it
Hmm.
because it's like that is so deep embedded. But when you hold the reflection up and someone realizes the language they've been using with themselves in their own head, like period, it's devastating. Like you're often so mean to yourself in your head, don't believe in yourself, just waiting until failure. like this is like I don't know what happened with the collective consciousness, but the average person really doesn't believe in himself that much.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you, to your point, decisiveness. You got to get the fuck up off your ass, bitch. You like it or don't like it. You don't like it, get up. Like
Yeah.
you got to change it. You got to change it. You're thirsty, drink water.
Yeah,
Like,
either way, be decisive about that, even, right? Like if you're deciding, like, no, like going back to cigarettes, let's say, like, no, I like smoking cigarettes. I'm gonna smoke cigarettes the rest of my life. Well, at least you've made a decision, you know?
you
You're
stick
not
with
on
that.
the fence. I'd rather that, you know, I'd rather than say just make a decision. And I
Yeah.
said this to a buddy too who was having issues with like alcohol. He started saying like he was noticing that he was just, he'd be bored. And that was what I noticed about the vape
Mm.
too. I said this to my girlfriend. She said, have you had any like what's it called? Like symptoms
Withdrawal.
or withdrawal, right? Any
Yeah.
withdrawal from the vape? And I said, no,
Yeah.
the only thing is I start getting a little fidgety when I'm bored. And
Yes.
I recognized that I was vaping when I was bored, when I like needed to do something with my hands. And she's like, that's an excellent observation. But I
Yes.
was like,
Sensations. Sensations. That's what we need. Sensations.
yeah, literally. But just even noticing that helps you get over it and recognizing it for what it is. And I said to my buddy, I was like, just try for a month not drinking at all. And worst case, you can go back to drinking.
Yep.
You just go back to it. It's not like it's
Yep.
going away. It's not like prohibition or anything. You can
Yep.
just go back to it. But here's the thing. You already know where that path is going to take you. You
Yeah.
already know that if I keep drinking, I'm going to be wasted by the evening. I'm going to fall asleep. I'm not going to get the things that I wanted to get done. And then in the morning, I'm going to feel guilty and I'm going to feel like shit because I didn't do the things I was supposed to do. And then I'm going to go to work and I'm going to come home and I'm going to be tired again. So I'm going to have another drink. And then I'm just going to keep repeating that
It
cycle.
sounds like a mental illness.
Yeah, right.
And it's a
It's a
society encouraged
cycle.
mental illness. And
Yeah.
then when your health isn't good, you don't have to change it by going to the gym. You can just go see a doctor and they'll give you some pills or a shot.
It's the worst.
There you go. No, that's society, bro. Let them live their life. Let them live their life. Stay asleep, babies. There's more room up here for us to breathe. And that's what I get. I end up being a dick about it because even simple things like, you pop the tops here. Someone's like, nice abs, bud. How do you do it? Don't eat sugar. Oh, I can't do that.
Oh, I could never do
There's,
that.
there's your bed.
Yeah.
There's your bed. Sleep.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yes, you can. You absolutely can stop eating sugar. Delete Uber Eats. Stop stopping for donuts. Don't
Mm-hmm.
have candy. Don't have a pop with your meal. Like, it's all too very, very simple. But easier said than done because an
Yeah.
addiction is real. And you're right. People don't want to face that part of themselves. I need some dopamine. You know what I do? I move the fuck. Because if it was one thing I can say I'm addicted to is because of being a content creator, getting it on social media has been such a rush. It's such a
Mm-hmm.
high to go
Mm-hmm.
post. Yeah, I'm checking how it's doing. You
Yeah.
open your phone and you go right to Instagram. Oh,
Oh.
I think you feel good opening in it. You're like, I'm about to fucking get it. About to get a nut. I'll get the fucking digital hearts, baby. Did you
Yeah,
click?
yeah,
Did you clicky my picky?
yeah. Yeah.
And I'm just like,
It's
yo,
addiction transfer.
I had to move my app where it is in my home screen on my phone. So because I
Mm.
was doing it but before you know it, I pick up my phone, check the time, and it
Your thumb
would
just automatically opens it.
be open.
Yeah, yeah,
Looking at
yeah,
some
yeah.
fucker's story in 2 seconds, feeling
Yeah,
FOMO.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
get out of
yeah.
here. So I changed it. I put them all in a thing, and then it hacked it. I put my notes where my Instagram used to be, and then it's like, okay, you want to be on your phone? Write something,
Oh,
bitch.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Leave a book behind. You
Use the
know?
utility.
Yeah. Why don't you fucking invest some, instead of just being
Yeah.
dopamine fucking turn
I
into
saw I think it was Harry Mack. He was posting about how he was posting his Spotify Wrapped or whatever, and he was saying like, I never really
I never do
I
this.
try not to look at this shit because and on his phone he had a folder that just said doesn't matter. And it was all of his analytic apps in that one folder.
Spotify for artists.
Yeah, all that stuff. YouTube
Beats.
Studio, like
Yeah.
anything that you could check how you're doing was all
Yeah.
in that folder. And it's good because it gives you that little reminder of like, before you look at this, just remember, doesn't matter.
Bro, okay, on that tip, you want to hear what I'm doing this year?
Yeah.
I started Jan 1st remix of I Am, the track that my last track in the last year that did well. I got the Funky Bunch on it, shot a
Nice.
video, put it up. January 1st, probably going to be the only Spotify release I do this whole year
Wow.
because that system of metrics is so toxic. And until people are bothering you trying to find your song, I'm going to withhold from those major platforms until that request feeling comes through. And
Mm-hmm.
and you know me, I'm not going to stop recording music. I'm not even going to stop releasing music. I'm going straight mechanical Bandcamp. All of my song, I'm still going to release a song a month as I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what I do. I release a song
Yeah.
a month, and it will be on my YouTube and it'll be on Bandcamp. And if you like me, you can support me directly. It's $1 a track. You don't
Yeah.
have to pay for every one. Buy one in the whole year. I don't care. But if there's, we got to start being less consumed with playlist placing that feels exactly like radio.
Mm-hmm.
That feeling that, oh, you're not on fucking Northern Bars, you're nothing. Like, okay, so fuck you. What is this Z95.3? Get out of my face,
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
don't
It's just
care. And
new
who the fuck
gatekeepers. That's
are you
all.
stupid? Like the kids who put this like music that gets on their shit. I'm like, you know what? That's
Yeah.
all right. Like you could keep that. You can keep that.
Yeah.
Like I'm really aimed over here. So I'm just trying to find my people now because I've made a splash in a couple markets, and now I'm like, no, 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 go completely like Harry Mack. Doesn't matter who gives a fuck style. Like
Mm-hmm.
right here, feed this community that cares. If they care, if they don't check for it, they don't check for it. Whatever, you
I
know.
feel like if you just found some lane on TikTok, and I know it's
I
something that
know.
gets beaten to death, but man,
Well, like
like,
I said, like the songs don't stop. Like I drop a freestyle and a track a month.
yeah,
It's going on TikTok. It's
sure.
going on Instagram. It's
All
going
of
on
that is
YouTube.
great for when a mass audience truly a mainstream audience truly discovers you. And that's what I believe about the podcast too. And it's great that you also have a podcast because there will be fans of yours that want to listen to more of you just talk about shit, right? I like the way
Yeah,
this I like his music because I like the way that this guy thinks. Let me hear him
yeah,
talk more at length, and with people that
totally.
he's familiar with, right? There's some comfort in that too,
The
right? So
homie. Yeah.
all this shit. Like that's why I don't care what any of the views on any of these podcasts are. I don't
Oh yeah.
try to get like the biggest name to blow up the podcast. I'm like, it's all gonna be there when
That shit.
someone discovers it.
Yeah, that shit is so tacky. If you ask me, just to try to get your most famous friends around. I mean, like I have friends who do have followings who have been on the show,
Yeah. It
and it
doesn't
is
like
exciting.
really make a
It
huge difference though.
it doesn't. It
No,
doesn't do much
no.
for your
It
metrics.
doesn't really.
Now, if they share collab posts on Instagram or something, you may get a couple new followers there, but basically you're still just working for Meta. Like
Yeah.
I realized like, oh, Instagram creator, you work for Meta without a salary.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like this has the drawback to somewhere that benefits you. So shout out everybody, make an email list, have your own website, have your own like you have to
Yeah.
control your data. Like I try and go offline with like people who I do spark like cool relationships with, at least like connect on an email basis or something. If not,
That's been one of the
phone.
benefits of producing shows is getting an email list built. Like
And
because
look at
I
the
just
people you know.
have people, yeah, and it's
Like think
building
about
like my local Ottawa scene even too, right? Like I can reach out to this list of people that have been in my show, had a good time, enough that they gave me their email and be like, "Hey, I'm doing it again." You know what I mean? Come on
yes.
out. Like
What's what I
fucking
love about Eventbrite when we're throwing these Discipline Stoners live because our live show series, it's like when
how is
everyone
that
buys.
going?
Good, we've taken a chill pill from it because we joined the team on Can Expo. So we're
Ooh,
yeah, man, we're commissioned to manage and host the stage at the Entercare Center for a
that's
weed
sick.
event. Yeah, bro. And
Yo,
basically,
congrats.
I kind of like because it started as Rhythm and Flow, right?
Yeah.
And I did 3 of those, and then they were in the licensed establishment of Bar Cathedral, and it's a beautiful stage, great sound, super cool. But the owner doesn't like weed, and knowing that I'm
Mm,
holding a pre-show market full of weed brands and an audience full of like 80% Disciplined Stoners fans, it didn't bode well with me. So
sure,
as much as I
yeah.
like the food and the stage, the management and the stress that it put on me as a
I get that
producer. It
100%.
was like, oh well, I'm not gonna try and like pussyfoot around here like it's a fucking weed show. Like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
like
Yeah.
it is. Like if you're in my audience, it is. The chances are even just rap fans, like 'cause the songs are about weed.
Most of them are
Um,
gonna want to smoke. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So then we shifted to Discipline Stoners Live is what we call it now. And it's still the same format, me with the live band improvising and Winnie doing stand up. And we wanted to get Sandra on. We're gonna get Puff on. We've had Danton Lamar, we've had Anthony Engelberg, we've had just a bunch of awesome comedians and so many cool people like that. So, but the last one we did was actually in the backyard of Sticky Nugs.
you should get Black Zeus on.
Oh yeah, I saw Black Zeus had a Keith Pedro show there.
Oh, good.
You know who was just on last night? Big Norm.
Big Norm's great
He's
too. I
so
love Big
funny.
Norm.
He's
Fucking
so
that
funny.
guy. Oh my God. I remember the first time I saw him was at Puff Mama's Underground Cafe.
No way.
And he had this bit. I won't spoil it in case he needs to put it in a special or whatever. But man, I was like, I hope I can be half the comedian that this guy is. That's
Uh,
unfucking real.
Dude, the
Like, he's
caliber,
crazy.
he's a natural bag of talent, is what
Oh,
I was.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, and he chefs up too. We're gonna do some food content at Discipline Stoners.
Nice.
He chefs up. We're talking because he brings like the kind of West Indies, Filipino kind of mirepoix where they put ginger. I'm more Italian, French inspired cooking where we just use different things and we'll cross reference. We'll maybe do a black box challenge. We've also had fucking Keith Pedro and Nitish on. Like it's like these
Solid guess.
like come
Yeah.
on we were holding a master class on stand up sometimes.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, those are the best of the best for
Yeah, no, we
sure.
need to have you on, bro. It's gonna be blessed.
Nice.
So yeah, like, and I can't remember exactly what we were talking about.
Working with like Bar Cathedral and then starting to do
Yeah,
more of your own
exactly.
shows.
Yeah,
You're saying Discipline Stoners live, yeah.
yeah, sticky necks. That's what I was saying. We did the outside version where you could smoke weed, and it was so fun. It was so nice. It was like what you want to do, like And
Yeah,
so I'm currently until I have the perfect space that I can. It looks like I'm gonna have to build a stage like I did in the backyard of Sticky Nugs, but it's not winter cohesive,
mm.
and I gotta upgrade the audio. So as a producer, I've chunked up my work, and we also have potentially onboarded a co-producer. So it's helpful to share the
Oh yeah,
weight of dealing with and so but we decided we're going to go away with the pre-show market and just do like brand partners that co-present the show with us or are featured.
that's
So
great.
like yeah, so it just makes it easier to take care of the overhead and have some fun and plan some real new shit, leading edge shit.
Yeah.
So
And you need people too that can take care of that shit for you. Like I keep thinking about that
yeah,
too, about like
like a
I was
team.
like, I wish I had like a comedy manager, someone who could like book the gigs and the shows or send the offers for me so I can
Oh, of
focus on
course.
writing the material. You know what I mean? Like
Oh man,
take
that's a
25%. I don't care. Just get
holler
me
at your boy,
gigs.
someone. Dude, straight up and
Get
down.
me
I mean,
gigs.
I try and empower friends of mine who I like and who I think are smart, like yourself. Like, just be like, here's my rate card. If you book me something, 10% is yours. Like, that's just
Yeah.
like you can make anyone an opportunity agent, but like,
True. I
who's
feel like it
really,
has to be someone that I know. It has to be somebody that's like familiar with
yeah, with who
me and
you
my
are and
material, who I am, what I would
how
like
you'd
they'd
serve.
have to know like what I would accept in a deal versus what I wouldn't absolutely do without even reaching out to me to ask me that, you know? Like
Yeah, exactly.
somebody who's like, he doesn't want to fucking do this. I'm gonna just tell them no, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Yeah.
I feel like that's the ideal manager.
Would know your criteria.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's a tricky relationship. I've definitely been wined and dined by managers before, and it's never been a fit. It's
Yeah.
never been a fit. It's always been a fun ride there and lots of recognition and lots of excitement and like, but you know what? I just realized, man, like 90% of people are just full of shit.
Yeah,
And they
most
don't
of the time.
mean they don't mean to hurt you when they're being full of shit, but they're full of
Sure.
shit.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
and I've learned now just to take it as a compliment when someone gets excited. But like
Yeah.
nobody wants to do the
They
work,
think they
man.
can make money off of you.
Yeah,
Take
well,
that as a
luck.
compliment.
Yeah, no, lucky for like go ahead. Like if I'll see you on Monday
Make
morning.
us money. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Acquisition mode, but no one wants to go in acquisition mode.
No,
And
yeah. Nobody
when
wants
the
to cold
artists
call.
when the artists these days are doing more heavy lifting than the people who say they don't want to like what are you the rest of you doing?
Yeah, yeah,
What are you
yeah.
doing? You're doing nothing. Like you work a
It's
job
like
for
Office Space where they
what?
come in. What do you do here?
Yeah.
I love that scene. What do you do? Yeah, but what do you do?
Dude, that's a
Yeah,
good movie,
that's
Stapler.
a great fucking movie.
It's a great movie. Yeah, I just want to do the fun shit, like make movies and shit. But yeah, or albums. We could hit the album a little bit.
I gotta dip in a few, but
Are we going to 7:30?
yeah, we're gonna go to 7:30, but we can show off well, I'm trying to think of where we got to.
I think 6.
Was it by myself?
Halfway, right? I don't know. It's just
Yeah,
half.
yeah, yeah.
I don't.
Let
It was either.
me
I don't know.
share
Whatever.
screen,
You can
share,
skim through it, or you should tell
optimize.
me what track you like. I feel like "What Is a Home" was one that we should play.
Let's play What Is at Home because I want to hear it from you, you know?
Sure.
I'm not even logged into Spotify.
Yeah, "By Myself" is good.
Oh my God. Hold on. I might have to.
It's hilarious.
I don't know why I'm not logged in.
Or maybe we can just keep going. Maybe
It's a
that's
critical oversight.
yeah, you guys. But hey, maybe that's a sign too. Maybe you guys just go stream that album. But we can if you want to sign in, it's up to you. That was a great
Oh,
concept though, in
oh.
decisiveness. Let's be
Just started.
decisive.
It just started playing in my ear. Okay, we got it.
Let
Share sound. We're good. What is a home? Let's back that up here. Okay.
That's cool, man. Where you live at? Thing is, right now, my mom just changed jobs or whatever, so actually we're just chilling, man. Can we go to yours?
What do you mean they moved again? That shit was mean and very tense. Yeah, as a teen, it only got worse and better, and then it got more intense. We were like homeless but not intense. We get evicted then move again. We like the gypsies in middle of cities. We get your credit card and then we fed. When survival mode's unleashed, this dog is off his leash. How you gon' be stealing everything but not be a thief? Only got a year here. How many places? 3. Now we don't live by the beach, but we gon' move next week. Crates around cause the cats both are getting boarded. Moved into the new crib, we hope we can, but we can't afford it. We can't afford shit, so I broke in and stole it. Got some pillows for mom to sleep with and I don't know where I'm going. But I found a key, I got this thing that's helping me breathe. I put on hip hop and I do the beat. All of this weakness they'll never see. All act all tough like a thug from the streets. Then they'll just think that I'm all dark and deep. These are my problems, I keep them to myself. I don't wanna speak, so don't try to reach.
What is a home? Where have you grown? Where do you stay when you stay in your zone? Isn't it more than a place where you go? Somewhere to know and make it your own. What is a home? A place you can grow away from the road and out of the cold. Somewhere to have and somewhere to hold. Building the fabric is part of your soul. Tell me what is a home? What is a home? Somewhere to go. Tell me what is a home?
yeah.
Yo.
Yo. Bless, bro.
Killer song, dude.
Thank you, brother.
That whole
Shit.
album is great.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
I think people need to do more. I mean, there was like that little rush of people just putting out like, here's a song, here's a song, here's a song, here's a song. But like, we need to go back to like, here's an entire like story. Here's an album. Here's a full like front to back. Listen to
Yeah.
this, you know?
It's a beautiful thing. It is definitely a single economy, though. Like you gotta drop singles. Like, I'm glad that the album happened when it did. Some people would say it's even like premature and early, but it's like just time to drop it and be honest with the story. And that vulnerability has garnered a lot of new relationships in positive ways of people who like resonate with my story. So that's been sick.
Yeah, and it's that moment too of you being like openly vulnerable with like who you are. Like there's
Yeah.
there's nothing hidden. And so I feel like when you know the deepest, darkest parts of someone's past or current situation, you can almost like trust them more, you
There is
know?
that. There is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
element of like the mystique of where this person came from or what their experiences were or what justifies their character. Yeah, it becomes a lot more visible, and yeah, that's definitely part of it. That's sick.
Now let's go to
Shout out Nishi Beats on that one. That's who made
yeah,
that
that
beat.
beat is
Hard.
sick. It goes so hard, especially right at that right
The,
before the hook. Just
the build up into the and because he's
yeah,
going
yeah.
gung 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 gung, and his like 808s have like melodic progression.
It's
Like,
great.
yo,
It's great.
son,
Shout out Nishi.
Nishi,
Shout out Nishi. Yeah, it's
awesome.
good options.
Life in our suitcases, all on our shoelaces. Don't tell no one else, cause they don't know how to take it. 'Cause they don't know how to take it. Yeah, we had no options. We were just out on the street, with nowhere to be. And from what I can see, seems like no options. Now we're nowhere to go, no home of our own. All we see is no options. I'd rather be out on the streets than have someone cop over me. I wanna live on my knees, no, that's not an option. I lie and I say what I need. God will deliver my needs. That's what we pray and we preach. Speaking of praying, I couldn't tell you where we stand, but I could tell you what we making. It's progress, that's more than y'all, I'm just saying. Life in our suitcases, all on our shoelaces. Don't tell no one else, cause they don't know how to take it. We had no options. We were just out on the street, with nowhere to be. And from what I can see, seems like no options. Now we're nowhere to go, no home of our own. All we see is no options. There's no going home. I hate that you know, so I'll never tell you. Keep it on low, cause people gon' hurt you when they try to help you. Cause they wanna go all through your plans and figure what fell through. The sky has no hope. That's what the teachers tell you as they fail you.
Oh, I just had to take it out of that line.
Yeah,
That's what they tell you when they fail you.
this kid has no hope.
Oh
Fuck
my
him. Get out
God.
of here.
It's amazing how the school system can just completely crush someone's creative being.
Well, they try to, but I
They
mean, a
try.
lot of
It seems like they really try to. Like they're educated on the 101 of taking a kid down a peg when he's trying to be creative.
it's all based off the industrial complex, bro. It's
Mhm.
all very like we gotta, you gotta fit in this box, and you gotta play your role and find a boss and learn how to comply and
I mentioned this before.
fit in.
I think when I was talking to Alex DeWitt, I was talking about the school system, and it was like originally crafted in Prussia when there was a war happening, and the soldiers were like pissing themselves and like crying, and like they didn't want to kill people. They really didn't want to kill people, and so the government was like, "How do we create good killers?" We need killers. We need people who will do anything for this country and that flag when we tell them to. And so they came up with the idea of, well, let's teach them from the time that they're young. Let's make them sing the national anthem. Let's make them see the flag every single day. It's like social conditioning to
It's
have this
indoctrinating.
national, yeah, indoctrination. It's have this nationalistic instinct almost that when your time is called to go fight for your country, you're going to do it without even thinking.
Yep, and that's you can feel that, and like when I was young, is whatever they label it, an indigo child. You're just a
Yeah, yeah.
unique because they couldn't say I was stupid.
Yeah.
So whatever, as an adult now, you still justify the genius as autistic or something or Tourette's,
Yeah,
but they're
yeah.
like, this little motherfucker can still pass a test and very presentable. But it was just like they were like, hey, everyone's gonna turn right today. And I'm gonna be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, the opposite way. And everyone turns the opposite way. I'm like, hey, no, fuck you. And they're like, why? And I'm like, for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
Fuck
Just
you.
because you told me to.
Fuck your system and fuck your ideas. And everybody looks stupid doing this together. Like, I'm just here to shake shit up, bro. So
Yeah.
when they were like really beating on me when stuff was tough at home, like we were homeless. Like we were living out of suitcases, couch surfing, park benching, internet cafeing, hoteling, getting places and not paying. And this was my life at home. And then I'd go to school and they were just like fucking pricks, like nonstop pricks. Like that's
you're
the
like,
real
can I
fucking
get
truth.
a break here?
No
Like,
breaks.
no
No,
breaks.
nobody gives a fuck. Everyone's their own fucking lead of their story. And then I realized I saw through it when I realized, okay, because clicking in 12, 13, 14, you're like, oh, wow, adults pay rent. They have jobs. They have to get rent. You're like starting to just like calculate this stuff and then realize like, well, who the fuck are these motherfuckers? Like these people, you know, in order to teach me, they have to open a book and then like repeat it. Like y'all are like a robot. Like what are you doing with your life, 42-year-old man hanging out with children all day who seems very uninspired? So why the fuck you with kids all day? Like I was just like Eminem in the headphones, 50 Cent in the headphones, Tupac in the headphones. You are my teachers, you are my guides. I'm writing rhymes in my margins, I'm making fun of you. If any it's gonna be fights if anyone challenges me. Just like it was like fuck off. Like
Yeah.
and just to the point where it's time to drop out. Like you know.
Which leads us perfectly into the final track of the song.
Hey.
Oh.
We got a place and we safe, but I can't take this serious no more, thanks. We got a place and we safe, but I can't take y'all serious. Yo, I don't think this place holds the answers. No, the real world is hard and faster and cold. I cannot pretend to sit here, buy this shit. Buy this shit, it's over. So they call me a dropout, and they worry about where I'ma go. But I'm ready for a job now, cause you can't live this life without no dough. No. Now if you don't hold yourself up, nobody will. Parents less money than me, to this day still. But that's okay, I'm cool to help a folk with a bill. And I've been this way since I was 11, for real. But mostly, I'm just not enthused about this institutionalized thinking that tries to abuse my creativity by making me choose between too fat, too thin. Oh yeah, call me bad again. Stick me in the office because I don't think this way. Keep me feeling caught, then the criminal mind will shape. But I saw the lines because my world did break. The innocence in my mind is over, I cannot stay. I don't think this place holds the answers. No, the real world is hard and faster and cold. I cannot pretend to sit here, buy this shit. Goodbye, this shit is over. So they call me a dropout, and they worry about where I'ma go. But I'm ready for a job now, cause you can't live this life without no dough. No. Still wonder if I will be haunted by.
Yes.
Go check out Ellevan's album. It's called Secondary School, available on Spotify and everywhere else. It's at Ellevan Music. That's 2 L's in 11 on Instagram, at Ellevan Music on YouTube, on X or Twitter, and check out the Disciplined Stoners podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Dude, thanks again for making the time to chill and hang. It's always great talking to you.
Love you, brother. You're the best. Appreciate you so
Love you
much.
too, dude.
Thanks for having me on. We'll see you soon.
Of course. Bye,
Bless.
everybody. Later, man.
See you, bro.
You've been listening to The Johnny Rogers Show. New episodes air every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.